All right. You have the floor, Rico.
Welcome back, you Venus Boppers, and this is the Vernacular Overcast. Here we got Rico, and the other two other one person.
Other one?
Only one other person. Not you, shut up, it's not your turn yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, move aside.
Yeah, step aside. Who do you
Christ.
think you are? You're just showing up and you think you own
Yeah,
the place?
yeah.
Get out of here.
Our podcast, you decide, I'm gonna talk first, like I'm some sort of man.
Hey.
Clamp it down, all right?
All right.
Clamp it down.
All right.
Clamp it down.
All right.
Clamp it down.
You have the
All right.
floor, sir.
From the top? All right, no, okay, I got it. Never mind. Hi, I'm Hunter.
Ooh.
All right,
we
thank
go.
you for that. Thank you. And as a special guest today, we have Bogan Baker.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah. Hello, my
Yeah,
name is
that's your
Logan
name.
Baker.
Bogan.
Works for me.
Yeah. So this is going to be the third installment of the Vernacular Overcast. And
Well, they know that.
yeah, I know. I was just saying it.
You don't just tune into the third episode of a podcast like, what's this little thing?
Some people
If
do
there's
that. Yeah.
Yeah, on like episode 200.
And if
like,
you
don't-
do that,
don't
you're
start
scum of
it.
the
You
earth,
just-
and you shouldn't be here anymore. So get out. We don't want you here.
Go back to episode 1. you
Losers.
stupid-
All right.
Yeah.
Jesus
What are you,
Christ.
dyslexic? This is 3. Go back to 1.
Our viewer rating is about to go so down.
It was never up.
From yeah.
All right, he's
negative
earned his spot.
viewers,
He's
they're
earned
gonna-
his
They're gonna
spot.
take it off you. They're gonna take it off YouTube.
All right.
All right.
So we
So you wanna? Sorry, almost had a slip up. Bogan, you wanna start off with maybe a little bit of an introduction.
tell us about
Podcast,
yourself.
tell
Tell us
us
about
about
yourself, boy.
Yeah, tell us about your ex-wife.
Tell us your deep
About my
childhood-
ex-wife? What? About my
Yes,
ex-wife?
Yeah.
I don't have an ex-wife.
I know what
Perfect.
you could
Thank
talk
you for telling
about.
us about your non-existent ex-wife.
I was
he hasn't
engaged,
even-
though. I was
I know.
engaged for a couple months. I was engaged.
Oh, see, that's where I got confused.
Like, no, like, legit, I was actually engaged
Yeah,
for,
here's
like, a
her-
couple
yeah.
months.
That's where we're having the problem. I can't tell if he's joking or not.
No, I have the ring. Like, it's on my dresser. Like, I'm
You
not
didn't
even
give
joking.
it back?
I have the ring. I have the ring. I have the ring and the wedding bands on my dresser as I speak. No joke. I'm not joking. Like, I have that shit.
So wait, it's not like it's not like a promise ring.
No,
It's like a
it
legit,
was
You got
it was
down on one knee and
it-
we're like,
okay.
we're gonna get married.
Legitimate. I bought it on Amazon. The ring, the
Oh.
wedding bands, the case.
Oh.
Showed up.
Yes, the
show-
K Jewelers of the online stores. Amazon is where you went to get this.
I didn't have much money. I worked at McDonald's.
Oh,
I showed up
God,
to
I feel like I've
school.
heard this story.
I showed up to school. We met in the stairwell.
God.
And I got down on one knee and I proposed.
What did you say?
It's,
I'm gonna
at
need you to
school?
word for word tell me what you said.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure all I said was just generic, "Will you marry me?" and that was it.
And I'm gonna ask the.
Can't go wrong. White bread isn't. Can't go wrong with white bread.
Right?
Plain.
I'm gonna ask.
Traditional.
I'm gonna
Can't
ask
go
the
It's
wrong.
generic
compatible with
question
everything.
here. I'm
Alright.
gonna need to know what grade this was.
It was sophomore year. I was a sophomore.
That's a little bit more on the realer side. Like,
So-
you can legitimately see that being happening rather than
So I was
we were in 4th grade and the ring was a Cheerio.
If
So
you
I was
could
like-
fit your
I was
finger in a
16.
Cheerio, you call me and let me know because I would love to see that.
Hey man, don't judge.
But yes, I was
Still-
16 though.
Oh wow.
Damn. I mean, if you were in like India, I'm sure they'd let you. Like. Oh wait, hold on. I legit remember this. There was some shit recently in the good old state of Alabama.
Oh god, incest. Here it comes.
No, no, but it's not an incest thing. What it is that if you were 15, they just changed it where you had to be older, but you could be 15 and marry another 15-year-old and only need to have one parent's like signature
No.
to get married.
Are you
At
kidding me?
15?
I'm serious, and it was just recently changed in 2019.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was like I could have moved to Alabama, met me and my cousin,
Moved to Alabama.
and we could have been legally binded.
I just want
by
you to
law.
know that right
like,
now,
that is
right now in my head,
As we
I'm
speak.
overlaying just
Yeah.
the national anthem is what I'm overlaying over this right now.
yeah.
That's America. That's the great thing about
That-
America.
I mean, this is America.
Good old,
Don't catch you slipping now.
Good old America.
Okay, drip it up.
Yeah, America's,
this is America.
weird as shit. All those kind of laws are super strange.
Alrighty then. Well, let's get on to some of the topics
Yeah.
we got going on here.
Well, I mean, beforehand, Rika was telling me that I would have to be the one with all the topics. Now, I do have quite a few topics that will probably at least get us to about 45 minutes if we just talk about purely those ones.
How many-
But
how
Rico
many
has some
topics
too,
do you
so
have?
we'll interlace them.
How many topics do you have?
I have 3,
I have 5.
but they kind of span into generalized questions, so it could go on for a little bit.
Okay, that works. That
All right,
works.
so I think. All right, so I'll start with the quick one first, just because let's get it out of the way. Okay, I had this thing, and I haven't thought about it for a long time, but I know I thought about it before. Why is your ass called your bottom?
This is the
know,
topic we start with?
Wow, that
Is it
came out
not
of
good?
left field.
Yeah, some bitchy teacher says, "Oh, sit your bottom down." I'm on my. If your feet are your bottom, gravity has it so your feet are your bottom. But like you sit down, it doesn't mean if I laid down on my bed. Does that mean the entire like, if you split like from my bottom of my foot all the way up to the side of my head is like the lower half? Is that my bottom? No, it's called your ass is your bottom. I guess because you sit. But when you're sitting, you're not. That's not even like the lowest part. Your feet are the lowest part. So like, what? Why is that called the bottom? I don't like. The only way it could be the bottom is if you're only sitting on your ass, like, and your feet are off the ground. You look like a baby.
The fact that you're like just continuing to rant about this is just funny. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's weird. Is it not weird?
It's weird that we're talking about this.
yeah.
Am I the only one who sees this? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm like a chemtrail person right now.
Hunter.
Like they're putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs
Oh,
gay.
Alex
Freaking
Jones.
frogs gay. freaking
Okay, we
frogs
don't have
gay.
to. We don't. Okay, we can skip past this. It was just weird. Okay, I have another topic if we want to get off of that one.
Yeah.
I think you need to redeem yourself, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay, so I have been watching this guy on YouTube. His name's 24 Frames of Nick. And he talks a lot about childhood movies of mine. And it just made me think a lot about, like, movies from my childhood that were in the public knowledge for, like, a month and then never around. But they were, like, I watched them every day of every day, every hour of when I was, like, 4. I watched this specific movie. You know, like those kind of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got me thinking about those. So, I pose a question. What are some of your, like, childhood, it could be games, what are some, like, childhood movies where it's, like, the one thing that you knew no one else saw? Like, it felt like that was your movie you watched on repeat, the game you played on repeat, your friend would come over and say, what game is that? And you'd be like, I don't fucking know, but I play it every day.
Indian in the
Like,
cupboard.
It's that type of shit. I'm sorry?
Indian
Soggy
in the
cookie.
cupboard.
See, but here's the thing. I know about that only by title because that sounds super fucking racist. Like,
That's what it was called. I think I still have that on VHS, like somewhere in my house.
damn, if that came out today, could you imagine?
I went to go rewatch it like recently, and I could not make it all the way through
Wow.
because like just it's honestly not a good movie. Now that I rewatch it, I'm like, yeah, this is a little racist.
Just a little bit.
I think
Just
every
a
good
small-
movie has a little bit of racism.
Yeah.
I don't.
Native American depiction
mean-
is not great in this film, but
I don't think it wouldn't be an American movie if it weren't racist.
oh, of course not.
And that's the
Just a
beautiful thing
little-
about
Just a little underlined racism, you know, a little slur here or there, maybe not even a slur, just
Just out of like not even like it's like out of use name. You know, like you say like Chinaman. Like it's like, ooh, that's not like full racist, but
Or Jap.
that's close.
Like being like, you're a Jap.
Okay, that's racist. That's racist. Yeah, but like that kind of stuff, or you know, like when you say people of color, like you're like, ooh, that sounds wrong to me. Like,
Well, old people still use that sometimes.
well, that's my point,
That's
because
the
old
thing.
people are racist.
Old people are so...
no.
Okay, I need to get this
It's
in
just
here
they
right now.
grew up.
Go
I
ahead.
need to get this in here.
Okay.
I was at a gathering where I was with my girlfriend's family.
You know the story?
I was with it's still like it bothers me. But for those of you who don't know, one, you're retarded for not even guessing this yet. But I am of Hispanic ethnicity, and
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
and this is where I choose to
na,
spend
na,
my
na,
time
na.
with a bunch of filthy Americans. But her I think it's like her stepsister's grandpa walked up to me as I was sitting down minding my own business. Like I didn't even look at the guy. I was just eating my food, which was so good, by the way. I'm sitting there and he walks over to me and he goes, Who's this guy? To my girlfriend, she looks at him and was like, This is Rico, he's my boyfriend. And he looked at me, like didn't even blink. He was just like, a Mexican, huh?
Jesus.
What made you get with a
Oh,
Mexican?
man.
And I was like, inside I was like screaming, but this is a 90-year-old man that I can't, like, what am I gonna do?
It just sounds like he's about to say, oh, like the
What
spicy
makes it
dick.
what
Oh.
makes it even better? He was a Nazi.
So it's like, oh, the Mexican.
But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. He goes, does he know a hat dance? He know that. Does he know that sombrero dance that them Mexicans
No.
do? And I was like,
Oh my God.
he
so bad.
inside I was screaming.
He probably didn't think he was being offensive. He thought he was being funny, but
I don't know what he thought, if anything.
Ugh.
it's
So
offensive
then
regardless.
He shakes my hand and walks away. And not even like 30 minutes later, he's getting ready to leave. And he crutches his way over to me, looks me dead in the eyes, and just goes, adios, mi amigo, and walks out the door.
Oh, no.
Come on. I do that shit as a joke. Like,
But to hear it from a 90-year-old Nazi,
yeah.
I felt like they were...
my God.
I can't say that.
Oh, I know what you're saying, though.
Like, I felt like
You know what
I
that-
was
you know what that
next.
reminds-
It was awful.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that scene from, what's it called? Schindler's List. Goodbye, Jews!
Yeah, I felt like he was
Oh
gonna
my
walk
God.
out, and then two soldiers were gonna walk in and be like, "That one right there," and like hoist me up by the arms,
robots!
and like hoist me up by the arms and haul me out,
Drag you by your heels.
and I'd be like screaming like help, and they'd be like, "We
That's-
don't understand Spanish."
that's-
Ooh,
Yeah, that's the
like,
good.
that's
That's like the
English.
get out moment where your girlfriend looks at you and doesn't even flinch, goes into full Nazi salute, and you're like,
Jeez.
wait a minute. That's like world shattering. Like, wait a minute, they lured me. What the fuck?
the flags roll down on the sides, and
It's
everyone
just
stands up.
swastikas
You
everywhere.
hear the click of a speaker turn on, and you're just like, "Wait a minute, I am not
Right, and
supposed
that-
to be here."
That's the moment that it clicks in your head. You're like, oh my god, we just ate bratwurst. It makes so much sense now.
Thought I was at a
It makes so
Mexican
much-
place.
It was chicken Alfredo. It was pretty good, but like
Oh right, because they're Italian. But yeah, no, that's the funniest story I've ever heard you tell.
I was
That
so
is-
uncomfortable.
I mean,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
Like what was?
And that's one of those
what
things.
was I
it's
gonna
like,
do?
I don't
Kick his
wanna-
crutch? Like walk her out from under?
like full on like sweep the leg, sweep his legs off if you did.
I'd
Nah, you
sweep
could have
the leg and
confused him.
his
You could have
holstered
confused him if you
Luger
just
would go
went
off
into a
and hit
Nazi
me.
salute. You
Yeah, if
would have
he did that,
confused him.
He would have been brought back.
He would have shit his Depends diaper and not known what to do. He would have just stood there while he's just like dripping diarrhea.
Just like singing the national anthem.
No, you Nazi salute and then you bring up a Hitler speech on your phone and just stand there.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You
Like,
just
but that's the
checkmate.
That's the thing.
Checkmate,
I feel like
old
if I
man.
sweep the leg and he hit his head on the ground, he would have been like, "Oops, I need to grab this one. I missed one." And like throw me in the back of a van and drive away.
Looks like
Oh,
we
but
Be like,
that-
"Oh,
here-
Grandpa did it again."
the
Ha ha
thing.
ha ha. It's just like again.
Here's the thing about with you in that situation. I mean, say what you will about him. Oh, he's old, whatever. I mean, pretty. I mean, I wouldn't go far as saying racist. It wasn't racist. He wasn't calling you derogatory terms, but he was just kind of like it was more or less racially insensitive. I guess I would put it, which sounds
Okay,
stupid, but
that
it
makes sense.
It was.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll
but
go
here's
along with
here's
that.
the thing: is that you are in such a situation where, like, I will never. And this is not me being like I hate white people. I'm a white person, but like I would
You're the
never be
whitest
able
person
to
I know.
understand that side. Right. I am. I'll tell you what I am. I'm Polish, and I'm like Norwegian. I'm full like Nord.
And you live in
like
Texas.
blue eyes.
You're
Blue eyes.
100% pasty boy.
Yeah, blue eyes, blonde hair, like full. I don't have blue eyes, but it's like full Aryan. No, I'm
They're hate-
But that's my point. Is that I've never straight up. I will never. Okay, let me rephrase this. I've never experienced racism. I've never experienced full on someone saying like, "Hey, fuck you, whitey." Like I've never experienced that. And but here's the thing: is that like it's such a weird thing. I'll just say it. It's such a weird thing to me that exists because I've never experienced it. It's such a people hate you by the way you look. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, people have called me
That's the
fat
thing.
before, but like that's it's. But that's what you're gonna say. Is you don't even look Mexican.
No, I don't.
No, you
It was
don't.
definitely
have
the
white-
name, and
you
I
have-
guarantee you, if she didn't say my name to him, he probably still would have guessed it. He probably would have looked
Yeah.
at me and been like, "Hola,
Yes.
senor," and I
Rico,
would have
did
cried.
Did I tell you what my mom said when I first told her your name?
You think
Did I-
about this very carefully.
Choose your words carefully.
Did I tell you?
No.
Okay. I was like, I'm going to my friend Rico's house. And I know it was my stepdad. He was like,
God.
Rico sounds like a drug dealer.
Oh no!
Uh-huh.
That's fucked. Wow.
I have been labeled with some awful things, and I'm
I legit feel like if your mom named you, you would have a lot less things directed.
you know what's
towards you.
ironic? My mom did name
Like-
me.
Oh, if your dad named you, if that's in that story,
It was a
if your
coalition to
girlfriend-
mess up my life forever. That's
if
what that
if your
was.
girlfriend pointed
I
at you and
popped
said,
out.
"This is my,"
I popped out, and they were just like, "Hey, you know what we could do? Give him one name that'll mess him up for the rest of his life."
Fuck his
Let's do it.
life from day
but
one.
if your girlfriend pointed at you and said, "This is Klaus," he would have been like full on like, "Howdy, boy," like, "How you doing?"
Of all names to choose, you go with Klaus.
Because it's German. That's what I mean. There's no part of me that's like, if anything, I would think you were like, just by your appearance, are like way closer to Italian than you are Mexican.
Honestly, yeah.
Because you have the dark hair, you have the thicker like side of the head, like side of the face hair, sideburny style, and then like you have the. I wouldn't say you're not white, obviously you're part white, but you have like that the like Italian tinge to the skin where it's like closer
Olive.
to like, you know what I mean?
It's
It's
like
like it looks like
olive.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
olive. It would be that's a better that's what it is. So it's I would guess that immediately. Like if you told me your name was Tony, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Tony Pizzeria.
Hey!
Tony Pipolazzo.
Didn't
like,
I order
yeah,
pizza from you
Hey.
last week?
Because all
arrivederci.
Italians are talking like this, yes.
They don't. I don't know
Yeah.
why we're doing that,
well,
but that's just
yeah, no,
adds
look,
on that we're
I'll-
racially
look.
insensitive.
I'll be 100% real. When I was doing that accent, I had my hand in the Italian.
Exactly.
I had it.
Same.
I had my hand in there. I had the hand in like that the like the relaxed okay symbol, like yeah,
Mhm.
the pizza pie, it's
Nice.
a perfecto.
I
Like
just got really scared because a pen just fell in my pasta salad, and now it's got Italian dressing on it.
right in front of my salad.
I know what
Really?
that's from.
Right in front of my salad.
Right in front of my
Okay.
salad.
My
But
fucking salad.
okay, let's.
Oh, I
Let's
forgot.
go back to
I
what
forgot we had
the
topics.
topic was.
The topic
Rico.
is that
So what-
Rico's
what's-
been
what-
racially assaulted
It went to that assaulted.
by a 90-year-old
What?
German.
Two white men in the night came up to you with MAGA hats saying this is MAGA country and threw a noose over your neck.
Oh no.
We won't get that political in this podcast, but all right, Enrico, what's some childhood movies that what's
Wait,
what's some of those?
I forgot that was the original topic.
That was the
I'm-
original topic.
I'm gonna go to
'Cause-
bed after
'cause-
this and like dream of MAGA guys coming and like getting me. That's gonna be my nightmare.
You're gonna go report it.
It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be terrifying.
You gotta call
Wear a body
CNN
cam
to
for
get
the
any
rest of my
coverage.
life.
100%. All right, but Rico, what are some of the movies that you were just like 100% sure no one's ever heard of, and you were just like in this weird fever dream that you just remember from your childhood? Like, what the fuck was that movie?
Yeah. I'd have to say, like the really old, weird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never thought
Like
anybody
like
The ones with the
ones where they were
bodysuits?
wearing
the
yeah,
bodysuits.
yeah, those ones.
Oof.
The
I didn't
first
think
two are
anybody
so good.
watched those.
I
didn't think
love
anybody
those
watched
movies.
those. I still have the I don't remember. I think they're DVDs. Yeah,
I have the
DVDs,
DVD of
yeah.
the first one,
I have the DVD of both.
and I think the third one.
the third one's where they went to China, right? Like back in time.
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, I have that one.
Third one. Yeah.
I have all three of them then.
That one's the one where people said that it got bad.
Well, because the bodysuits looked retarded. Like,
Oh, it's hilarious though.
You can like see the eyes and the mouth and shit.
Cowabunga it
Yeah,
is.
like-
You know, like oh, I see that face in my dreams.
when did that movie come out?
90s.
1990,
Really?
right?
Like
That's
straight 90. Here, I'll look
Wait.
it up. But
Release date March 30th, 1990.
wow. That was a long time ago.
yeah, first one came out. March 30th, 1990.
Yeah,
It made 202 million.
the third one came out in 93. Wow.
Wow.
They really just pumped these things out.
Crank those motherfuckers out. Damn, those suits. I
But
mean, really,
the suits were just
They're scary. They're
they just got
Like-
so shit. Like, I don't understand how.
like why do they have teeth?
Yeah, the teeth are
Why do they have
Yeah.
herbivore? Why do they have like flat human teeth?
okay, but if we really want to talk about bad turtles, the
The
what was
Michael
it?
Bay one?
Yes, the Michael Bay
takes off his
CGI.
takes off his mask. Look, we're just turtles, and he looks like a
Why-
fucking dinosaur.
Why were their faces were flat? Like, I don't get that.
I don't know either. It's just a weird time in general. Michael Bay's just kind of strange.
That he is.
All right, but I have a few movies, as well as a few games. The first movie I can think of, and it's probably a bad, like a bad thing to bring up, but there was this movie I had on VHS. I will never be able to tell you the name of it, but it was about two penguins, and it was like a Romeo and Juliet style. They didn't kill each other. They didn't like die in the end, but it was like a Romeo and Juliet love story where there were like two separate tribes of penguins. And I remember this scene where it was like, Rico, fucking stop, stop. Rico fucking put cowabunga it is in the fucking Discord
Nice.
chat. All right, but they were like had this scene where they like like raced around in the water and like came upon an iceberg and shit. It was all 2D. I remember that so vividly. Don't know the name, and I don't know when it came out, but it seemed old.
Two
Next movie,
penguins.
because that's all I can say about it. It was just two penguins with like a love story. It was weird as shit. Anyway.
Happy Feet?
No, this is what it was like. I swear to God, it came out in like early 90s, late 80s. It was an old movie. But another movie that kind of sparked up when I was thinking about this was, do you guys remember Surf's Up?
Yes.
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 Another penguin movie, weirdly enough. That was my shit, homie. I love that stuff. I remember, I don't know, Rico, if you'll remember this, because me, if any of you don't know, me and Rico went to elementary school together.
Yes, we
had
did.
a lot of classes together.
Yes, we did.
We hated each other, but we had this shit back then. But do you remember that like puppet show in like second grade?
No, I do not.
It was Miss Somethings, Miss B's. Second grade Miss. I won't say her name. Gotta edit that out.
Hunter, The Pebble and the Penguin? Was that it?
Hold up.
It was released in
Hold up.
1995.
Hold the fucking phone. You may have just cracked this amnesia. I can't type on my computer for some reason right now.
All I looked up was 90s movies with penguins. That's what I looked up when this came up.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Did I solve the mystery?
It might be. I don't know. I don't remember that dude. But I remember those penguins look good. They got thick thighs. Hot damn. I'm not a furry. I didn't mean that.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
Edit that out. It looks... Oh my god. Oh my god, this might be it, nigga. Boy. This might be it, boy. I didn't...
Rico.
What did you... Stop posting. Stop posting. Stop posting.
Poor
Stupid
Ninja Turtle.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit, man.
Oh my god. I just found the
This
best
seems-
one.
Oh no. It's being killed right now. It has 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Jesus. It looks familiar though. It might be it.
It's just
I'll have to ask
the
my
last
sister.
one in that series.
What the?
Ugh.
The first two are decent. They're good, but he just goes full buck teeth. Like,
You're telling me the one in the middle where it looks like he's getting the biggest sloppy top he's ever gotten in his life looks good?
I mean, yeah. It's
Pardon me?
a little awkward, but that last one.
Do you remember? Oh.
Hold on. Let me finish
But
that Surf's Up thought.
The first
But-
one is staring at the third one, like, what the fuck? Like, the first and the third one are staring
Yeah.
at each other. Like, look at that.
What is it?
But okay, so the Surf's Up thing. We had a puppet show in second grade, and we had to make like it was animals, because we were second grade. And I made it mine, and I called it an original character, and I called it Chicken Joe, which is the chicken from Surf's Up, and it was just a stoner chicken dude, and that was my character. And I made him from there because I watched Surf's Up all the time, and it was great. And I still have it. It's a paper mache chicken.
Dude.
That on front of it just it's like literally C like KNJO, like Chicken Joe. Like it's horrible.
Do you
Got a
guys
79
remember-
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did you
Jesus.
ever watch that weird movie, Barnyard?
That was so dude. Don't
Barnyard.
get me started on Barnyard. Dude, you ever play the Wii game?
No.
There was a Wii game?
That movie terrified me.
I loved it, dude. Dude, do you not remember Wild Mike? Wild Mike. What
was
and then
the-
it was just
Wait, what
Then it
was
was
the
just
name
terrifying.
of the little, like, mouse that did the one?
Big Cheese.
Was that the name of it?
Yeah, the one that rapped.
Oh no, the little mouse. No, the little mouse was named Pip.
No, it was
I
Big
remember
Cheese.
this.
Big Cheese.
Big Cheese with a big rat, the Mr. Boombastic.
Yeah,
Take on me,
the
Mr.
fucking
Boombastic.
Shaggy song.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Dude, Barnyard for the Wii right now. This is a bargain. It's $3.
Who owns a
I'm gonna
Wii
get-
anymore?
I have a Wii.
I don't think I do,
Dude,
but
I have a Wii.
Get it, dude. If I will pay you like $10 for your Wii plus this game.
That's a pretty good deal.
I will legit pay you $10 for your Wii, all of your Wii games.
But
and
he has to pay all the money to ship it to you.
I'll pay him money for shipping. I'll give him shipping money for it too. Add in $15. I don't know. That I want to play this game.
Oh my God.
This game was the coolest. There was a thing in this game where you could shoot milk as a weapon. Like that is the dopest shit.
Okay,
What?
what am I missing in here? Oh, that kid.
Stop.
This kid.
called cow tipping. Ha ha ha.
His voice was just ear rape.
I know.
Okay, do you guys remember the movie Over the Hedge?
I loved that movie, dude.
Dude, don't get me started. Did you ever play the game?
No. But the movie was one of my favorites.
I remember playing on PS2. That had a bumper cart thing where you were in golf carts as all the animals and shit. Ooh, it was like butter. It was such a smooth game. That was a good game. That's like what I'm saying is about these weird games. Like I played these weird games that nobody else played, like the Barnyard Wii game, and I loved it. I played it for years. And I loved every second of it.
You poor
But,
soul.
like,
You had some issues, dude.
I loved it. Well, because I rounded it out with playing Guitar Hero 3. Like I played that game like to death. I played that game when I was like.
Oh, that was.
I played it when I was like 10, and then I remember playing it again like 6 years later when I was 16, like a couple years ago.
Guitar Hero 3 was my shit. Like I played that constantly when I had it.
I have never been able to reach hard mode. I could never do the weird pinky shit that.
I can do some songs on hard, or at least I was able to, but.
I was a rock band guy, and I feel awful for saying that.
See, Rock Band, I couldn't
you
mess
should.
with the lanes. They looked weird, and
The drums,
Going
dude,
from
I went
the-
hard on those drums.
Yeah, I had Rock Band. I think 3, which is like really bad, but we got a drum set for it, and dude, if I told you how much pussy I got because I played drums on Rock Band 3, you would drown just by me saying it. I mean, truly.
I could never play drums on Rock Band.
Oh my god.
What blew my mind is that I had people in my family who wanted to sing, like the singing parts, and I'm like,
Please
why?
tell me your dad wanted to sing.
It was not my
Oh,
dad. My
Rico,
dad was drums all the way.
You know how good of a singer I am.
It's the eye of the spider.
Have you shown Hunter
it's
that video,
poison
Rico?
in one bite.
What video?
You know what video I'm talking about. The
Is
one
it
where I'm
the-
singing with the voice of an angel in your living room. Yeah. If you haven't sent him that video yet, do it now, please.
Okay, one more on this topic, and then we have to be done with it because this is like half the podcast.
Yeah, we've
I think
completely
I
gone
think-
off
I think I
track.
know
One
what
more,
video
and
you-
I'll
At some point, I really
just
want to
talk
get
about
to
the
the
game.
Captain Marvel topic because
We
that's
will.
juicy.
Get to that
We'll
next.
get there.
Go that next. Bro, the open season video game for PS2.
That movie was so good.
Amazing. It's a great movie. I literally watched it coming back down to Texas after going up to Michigan last time. I was watching it on the trip back, and it's still good. It's still good. I'll give it, man.
I mean, the
I remember when
sequels
I
are
was younger-
terrible, but that's any sequel.
Oh, don't get me started. But dude, do you remember? I remember what's her name? Do you remember the lady's name? The Boog's owner.
Dude, I don't
No.
even
It's like-
remember who Boogs is.
Boog, Boog. Boog.
Boog.
He's the bear.
Oh, that hefty
That
unit.
orange-haired lady, dude. I had like the biggest crush on her when I was like 12.
You know who I
Like
had the biggest
Boog.
crush on as a kid? That chick from the
Who?
B movie, dude. She was kind of cute. She was kind of cute.
Martin
And I mean, it worked
Lawrence
perfectly
played
because when you were
Boog?
younger, when you were and then Ashton Kutcher played Elliot, the deer.
Ah.
But Rico, what I was gonna say is that she would have been a perfect type for you because when you had that crush on her, you had the size of your dick was the size of a bee's dick, so you would be perfect.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Look, you can make fun of me for questioning weird ass questions like why is an ass called a bottom, but I gotta get back at you some point in the same podcast.
There were
I
two
have
of us questioning you on that.
Well, I haven't gotten to him yet. All right.
Get there soon.
Get there soon.
Also, Jonah Hill is now my streaks, and I'm not disappointed. Just,
All right. So that was it. That
Wow.
open season game. I beat that game and I was so proud. There was a segment where you were on a log. You and Elliot were on a log, and you had to get away from Shaw while avoiding rocks and shit. It was so fun, dude. That game was so fun. You could like you could throw a projectile, and it was the rabbits. Like you just throw a rabbit at a hunter, and he'd freak out for a second, and then you could come up and like kill him. It was great.
kill him.
Throwing innocent animals and murder.
This child movie, you're just like, you could
Fantastic.
murder these people.
I don't think you could legit murder, but like you could, like you knock them out and they'd fall over like in like mid fall. They'd like fade out. Levels of like game, but it was, dude. I gotta look that up. I want to play. I want to get. Not an emulator. I want to buy it legally, and I want to play it.
Nice catch. All right.
What catch?
So,
I don't know what you're talking about.
exactly. So, since Bogan has mentioned it, we can move on to the next topic, which. Nope, not yet, because I just accidentally clicked on a different tab and remembered why I was laughing really hard earlier.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I remember that.
What is it?
So, it says, so this is an article that was posted today at 11 in the morning, and it says on Friday, this gets so much better. On Friday, Republican Dan Crenshaw, a Republican from Texas, posted a picture on Twitter showing that he had met with actor Chris Evans on Capitol Hill. Now, Chris Evans,
I see that.
beautiful man. And Crenshaw showed the actor his Captain America glass eye.
Yeah. I'm looking at the thing you're talking about right now.
He got it. Glass
What?
eye.
Whoa.
That is
Wait,
literally-
what?
Okay, for the people
I'll
at
put a
home, it
picture.
literally
I'll
looks
put a
like
picture. But
yeah, but I'll just
Oh
describe
my
it.
God.
It looks like a contact lens, but the eye it looks like an iris. The iris is really just the Captain America shield. Like star blue, red, white, red.
Put that in the
Oh.
Discord right now, Rico. I need to see that.
Chris
it's-
Evans, I guess, responded to it on Twitter saying a very cool use of vibranium.
Thank you,
Nice.
Kanye. Very cool.
Thank you, Kanye. Very cool.
Just stop. Just stop. You spent how much money on a glass eye?
Probably a shit ton.
Dude, I mean, come on. He's a politician. He's got fuck you money.
Good point.
It's just like, why?
Oh, you uploaded like a bad version of it.
Yeah,
There's one that here. I'll put it in the.
There it is. That is okay.
Yeah. There it is. You got it.
That's pretty
Yeah, no,
cool.
That's crazy.
It bothers
See-
me.
See, I'm a Spider-Man like fanboy, so I'd get like spider symbol in the middle there.
Oh, see, I would think like get like just red background. The whole eye is red, and then just have like the white webbing, like design on it.
I feel like they'd look super weird.
Having a glass eye is a weird thing, so why not just embrace it?
like Dave Rexroth, the meteorologist on like I think it's Channel 7 who like got his eye blown out by like a firework.
Ooh.
What in the world?
You never heard about that? Yeah, he was like they were lighting.
Why would I ever hear about that?
It was a while ago, and like they were lighting off fireworks, and the firework just exploded right in his face. And, like he was on some, like he was off work for like a couple months, and then like he would come into like the meetings just without an eye, and it made
That's
everyone
tough.
really uncomfortable. I think it's really funny. Not that he lost his eye. That part sucked. but the fact that he just made everybody uncomfortable
Okay.
without getting like an eye patch or something. He just had this open socket.
Oh.
I'd creep people out with it. I'd just be like, "Hey, look."
Stick your
full,
finger in it.
Full, what's his face? Full wetty fat.
Fetty Wap.
Wetty fat.
Is it? Oh my god.
You just had the whitest moment of your entire life, Hunter.
I know. I was trying to not say the opposite because I always say the opposite.
Wetty fat.
Wetty fap.
Who's that rapper?
Fetty
Weddy?
Wap.
Weddy?
Wetty
fat?
fap.
Fap wet. Wet fap. What? No.
The wettest fat.
Wet fap. Okay. Let's go to the Captain Marvel side of this. So everybody knows. Rico went and saw it.
I did.
I have not seen it. I have
I
not seen
saw
it.
it
Neither
opening
have I.
night, and I'll tell you right now that I'm gonna talk about pivotal points in this movie, and if you're gonna cry
Spoilers
about it, get
upcoming.
out.
Spoilers upcoming.
Just get
I'm not
out.
too angry about. If you want.
Yeah, I don't care because.
And Rico, this is gonna be more work for you, but when I say this, put on the screen. Skip to this minute, and seconds and stuff like that. Skip to this point if you don't want spoilers. Okay, there you go. And then Rico, when you want to do it, just put a number there, and then that's when you stop talking about spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
It works. It worked. Okay, so
So-
continue then.
So,
Jesus Christ.
it was
What the fuck was that?
really good. Like
It was
a
good?
It was a really good movie. And I
How
know
was what's her name is Captain Marvel? Her name is
that, Brie
escaping me
Larson.
right now.
Brie
Yes.
Larson.
How was she?
I will give Marvel credit for showing what they did in the trailers because it was nothing like that. Like
So the
me and
trailers
Hunter
were
had
misleading?
talked
That's what I heard
for
too.
a while that her acting is like garbage. It looks like garbage.
No.
Well, because in
No,
they
we
did
said it was bland.
really
we
bad
said her acting looked bland.
Right.
because
we
in
said
the
her 'cause we were
trailers,
like,
yeah.
Right, yeah. So what I was saying is that I think Brie Larson's an amazing actress. Outside of this trailer beforehand, like I saw her in Room, Room. I saw her in Room. I saw her in a lot of other things, in like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She's a fantastic actress, and she can act when she wants to. But Marvel did her dirty on those things. They did her dirty with those commercials because
Yeah, they really screwed
she
her
was
over
just like,
on the commercials.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it. It's like, oh,
The marketing
Scott,
for
she
the
sounds
movie-
so
That
bad.
The
line
marketing
was
for the
never
movie
in
made
the
her look
movie.
so uptight and just like kind
That's
of
funny.
stale-faced.
I just wanted
Right,
to
she
be
had-
known that line was never in the movie, and I'm
is
so
good.
happy. But
Good.
honestly, it was a really good movie.
Right.
And for the
And
people,
I heard that from multiple
for the
people
people who
saying
are gonna
that
be like,
the
"Oh,
ads were bad."
no, it was bad. It was a bad movie. It was garbage." It wasn't. You're just an uncultured swine, and you're mad because it's a woman movie. Stop.
Do we want to go
Stop.
into
Rico, I need you to slow down there, champ.
do we
I'm
want to go
not
into the
slowing down.
politics of
I need you to calm down.
Not
there.
slowing down.
You can.
It was.
You
it was
cannot like a
it was-
movie and not have it not be because you're a virgin.
But you know,
alright?
but you know that was part of the reason. You know that was part of the reason. And I don't even care. I'm gonna say.
I'm
it.
sure. I'm sure there's some people who didn't like it because there was a woman in a leading role. I'm sure there's those assholes who out there live like that.
no,
but
for sure, but
that
it didn't
but
help.
That doesn't mean if I don't like, there's a movie that came out a little while ago called XX, which stands for the XX chromosome, where it was all female directors and all female cast, and it was all female horror movie, like segments. It was all like different directed, all female segments.
It was all
And it
short
was a
films, yeah.
Yeah, and it was shit.
Yeah, I watched that. It was
I don't
terrible.
think it was bad because they are women. I think it's bad because they're not good directors or good actresses or
Mhm.
whatever. I like women directors. I like women actresses. That doesn't mean I hate when they make something or I can't watch a movie if it has women in it. That's not what I mean. But if I don't like a movie that is like full woman power, That's
It-
not
it-
because it's all women.
A
It's not for that reason.
A similar
It
thing
was-
happened with the Ghostbusters reboot with all female cast.
Exactly.
Is that anytime anyone criticized that movie, because that movie was terrible, it was not funny.
Right.
But anytime anyone criticized the movie, they were immediately labeled a sexist because it was all women cast, which made no sense. The movie was garbage.
It-
Like,
Exactly. Like
Thank you. It
when
was
you
so
have a
bad.
comedy, when you have a comedy, the whole point of doing a comedy is to make people laugh. And when you and
It
for
made
that
me
movie
laugh
to,
at how bad that movie was.
the
Right, you laugh
CGI was
at it,
terrible,
and
the
that's not
acting
what it
was
was
terrible, the
trying-
story was
right,
terrible.
and that right, the whole
Everything about that
movie's
movie was
not
awful.
good.
But
I didn't hate the fact that Leslie Jones was a woman and also was black. I hated the fact that her character sucked. It was bad writing. I hated the fact that the whole point of the whole people could use the you just hate women defense to not take the criticism on that movie.
Exactly.
Even the guy who made it, I can't remember his name right now, but he made good movies. He made like Bridesmaids is funny. Like all that stuff is there's he makes good movies. So then he uses this as a crutch of like, oh, you just hate women, that's why you hate my movie. No, I hate your movie because your movie sucked.
yeah,
Wonder Woman was a good movie for what it was.
yeah, Wonder Woman
And,
was
like,
was all right. Yeah.
It was a good, better than a lot of DC shit.
Yeah.
But so if I by that case, if I like Wonder Woman and hate Ghostbusters 2016, that shouldn't be plausible because I hate women. I
That's
hate
why the
all women.
argument
I
is
should
just
hate,
so
I
it's
should
so
hate
stupid.
everything. Right. So when you have and so there's a reason why Ghostbusters 2016 is rated worse than Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman did it good and that movie did it bad. So anyway, we can continue on to the rest of the discussion about the actual movie.
So the story, the beginning was a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason I felt weird about it was because it was an origin movie at the end of a series, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it was nice to have an origin movie this far along in the series because it just kind of it gave me that like break that I needed. Because I mean, I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh well, what does this mean? What does this mean? Because it's all already happened. The
Right.
spoilers right now, like they're coming out of my mouth. So the main power source that they were looking for was the Tesseract, and they already had it on Earth. So that was something I was just like, oh, I don't even care about that anymore because it doesn't matter. He dusted half the people I cared about. So it was just so good. But I mean, the characters that were introduced or reintroduced, you didn't really have to worry about where they were going because, well, you already knew. Like Ronan, the accuser, was in there, and wow, that guy was always just a d-bag. The twist, dude. The twist is so good. Now we're getting into some dangerous territory. So, if you're still listening at this point, and I say this and you hear it, it's your own fault. So the whole movie, she's been, even like the trailers and everything, were just like, I don't know where I came from. I don't know who I am. All this and all that, and it was. There's that shot in the trailer where there's like smoke and it looks like a crash site, which it is, and a Skrull soldier walks out and has a blaster, and it looks like he's about to go shoot it. So when Carol Danvers gets her flashback, it's that scene, and it shows the Skrull soldier and everything, and it leads you to believe that the Skrulls were the ones who made her the way she was and whatnot. But at another point in the movie, they listen to the black box from the crash that created or gave Carol her powers, and the black box shows, or not shows because it's black box. I'm retarded. It records that it was actually the Kree who went and like made Carol what she is. So they're looking for this power source during the movie that ends up being the Tesseract, that they're trying to make a engine of some sorts. And this doctor, what's her face? I forgot what her name was. But there's this like doctor through the movie who is working on this project and whatnot, and Carol works with her through the movie. And she has the Tesseract. She's a Kree soldier, and she's a rogue Kree soldier at that. So that's why everyone's been looking for her and whatnot. And so then she finally goes out to test this engine, and she gets attacked by the Kree army, and that's when they get shot down. Carol shoots the engine to get rid of the power so that they don't get it, and in that she absorbs the power of the Tesseract, and that's how she gets her powers and whatnot. But it shows that what is his name? I'm just stupid. I can't think of it. I gotta look it up now. But the person, the guy,
the co-star guy.
The guy. I'm trying to think.
Who are you talking about?
Jude Law.
The dude in the
Jan
trailers
Rog.
and shit.
Jan Rog.
Which dude?
Jude Law.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the actor's name.
Yeah, Jan Rog is the
him.
character Jude Law plays.
Yeah. So Jan Rog is really the one who hid everything from Carol and like told her that the scrolls made you the way you are. The reason you can't remember anything is because of the scrolls and Talos, and it's really been the Kree this entire time. So that's when she like turns on the Kree and is like, "You guys are assholes for not telling me all this stuff." So, which like,
Right.
oh, so good. But then it turns out that the Kree have been murdering the Skrulls because the Skrulls didn't submit to their way of governing. And Talos and the rest of the Skrulls are just looking for refuge somewhere. And the Kree's just been slaughtering them.
Right.
So that was like the biggest twist in the movie, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so good. The little boy titties were like perking up, and I was like, so good.
What would you rate the movie out of 10?
What would I rate the movie?
What?
I would probably give it. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10.
I mean,
Because it was just.
An 8.
that's not bad,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
That's up
No,
there.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's like, it's
It's higher than he expected.
it's higher than I expected for sure. But it's definitely something where it's like I would expect. By the way you talk about it, I would assume you would have a 7 or something. Or it's like you're like it was good, but it wasn't like,
It made me.
It wasn't like, it's close. I would say you would. What I would think you would say is that it's in between a 5 and a 10 rather than closer to a 10. That's what I would thought.
No, it was definitely closer to a 10 for me because, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It made me feel like I was getting ready to watch a whole series again. Like, this was like my Captain America again, or my Iron Man again, that started off this entire thing.
Now, hold on.
I'm not comparing them in
Okay.
in quality. I'm comparing them in placement. Like, it felt
I
like
got you.
this was
I get what you're
kicking
saying.
off something that was going to be bigger than anybody could have
Right.
imagined.
It's kicking off Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing.
Yeah. And I loved it. All of, like, the... Dude,
Oh, good.
Goose, the cat... I love that cat. I love that cat. But fun fact,
I love
Brie Larson is allergic to cats, and Samuel L. Jackson hates cats. So
Jesus.
that was pretty funny. So now,
Wow.
now I'm gonna talk about the post-credit scenes. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go there.
Here's the thing, is that I don't mind you spoiling the movie. For me, I don't mind the movie being spoiled. I mind the little Easter, because the little afterward stuff is always the stuff that gets me the most hype.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
take your headphones off then, because I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay, just put it. Okay, so I guess I'm out of this. I'm out of this. This next part, folks. I'm gonna take my headphones off. Just text me or send me right in the Discord when you're done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Logan, are you
All
out
right.
too?
Nah, I'm alright. I don't really care.
All right. So, there's two post-credit scenes, and the first one is with the Avengers, and it was really cool. It showed the Avengers that were left on Earth. So it shows Cap, Black Widow, War Machine, Hulk, and I think that was it. But it opens with a shot of the pager, and they have it, and they're trying to like prolong the battery life of the pager, and so it's like it's still sending out the message. It still has her like symbol on the pager,
Right.
and then it just cuts out, and then it cuts to Cat. Like, I mean, the pager cuts out.
Oh, okay.
And then Cap is looking at a board, and it shows the death toll on the screen. It's at like 3 million.
Ooh.
So almost half, because 7 billion. So half would be like what, 3.8, I think. And so he's like, this is a nightmare. He says like, this is a nightmare, and then Black Widow says, I've had better nightmares. And then Rhodey walks in and is like, hey, whatever that thing is doing, it stopped, it crapped out. And so they walk over and they meet with, and then Bruce walks up, and they're like all looking at it, and they're just like, well, what do we do with it? And Cap's like, you gotta prolong the battery on it. You gotta kickstart it so it keeps sending the signal. And they're like, we don't even know what it was sending. And then Black Widow goes, well, Nick sent it, so whoever he sent it to, you got to keep sending it, because I want to know who's on the other end. And she turns around, and Captain Marvel's right there, and she's just like, where's Fury? And then it cuts.
Ooh.
Oh, let me tell you, the whole theater was like screaming. Oh, they were just like, oh my god.
Damn.
It was really cool, and her suit looked different. Her hair was longer. It was so cool. And I don't know. The second one was just like, it was just for like shits and giggles. It was
Right.
It was the cat on Nick Fury's desk. And so the cat is some alien creature that eats stuff, and it's hilarious to watch. It has like tentacles that come out of its mouth, and it like eats stuff. It's really funny. So at one point in the movie, they're just like, what do we do with the Tesseract? And one interesting point that I saw was that Captain Marvel picked up the Tesseract, but nobody else would touch it. And that's really important. It shows that she
picked up the Tesseract?
Yeah, just like with her hands. She's
Oh,
picked
damn.
it up. And it like that, for those of you who don't know, no mortal person can pick up any of the Infinity Stones. And
Right.
the only other time you saw it was in Guardians of the Galaxy, when Star-Lord held the power. No.
Well, he technically wasn't.
Well,
mortal.
that's the thing. Yeah, he was half
Yeah,
god, but
yeah,
now
so-
he's mortal because
Right, so he couldn't-
kill the ego, so he can't draw power from the planet anymore.
Right.
But so Captain Marvel is the only other character in the Marvel universe right now, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to ever hold an Infinity Stone. It's her and Thanos.
Mm.
So that was really important to see. But the cat just like throws up the Tesseract onto Nick Fury's desk, and it's really funny. just like it, that like fur ball kind of like
Yeah.
gags it straight up on
Just
the desk.
the Tesseract just comes out.
Yeah, and it was really, really funny. So I mean, overall, I loved it. I loved it.
I'll still probably go see it, but I was never really too excited for it in the first place.
Yeah, and I think that most people were kind of like iffy about it because they thought it was gonna play more on that whole women's power thing, or the women's rights thing. Which,
You want to bring
like,
Hunter back in?
Yeah, I texted him. Which
Already here, baby.
Which it didn't really play all that much on the whole women are superior thing. It's like it
See,
subtly
the
did it,
problem-
but it didn't do it to the point where it was cramming it down your throat. They just were like, "Hey, we're important too," and like that was it.
See,
And
I think it
loved
was
that.
the marketing for the movie hurt it.
Yeah,
because
it
of
made it look like
the
it
scenes
was,
they
it was
show.
like gonna be one of those where women deal with us.
See, no, it wasn't
Here's
even
my-
that. It just made the film look really generic and boring because of the scenes
have
they
some-
chose to show.
I have something that's kind of, I don't know, at least to me, makes sense to me. If they're appealing to people just trying to tell them that, hey, women exist and we're important too, like, people who need to hear that aren't seeing Captain Marvel.
Mm.
Exactly.
They're heading down to the creek with their buddies in a bunch of bed sheets. They're if you don't think women are important, you're just brain dead. You just don't have a thought. You wouldn't be here if you without a woman. So
Right,
just the
and
fact of you saying you popping out and saying, "Man, women suck." Am I right, fellas? Like, you're stupid. But
and I think
so like I don't think it's necessarily a thing of like women, like I'm not saying that the message doesn't need to be put across. It definitely does. And I think, yeah, there is certain things with women's issues that should be pushed across a lot more than other things. But everyone who goes and sees I was talking to Rico and I sent him a message a couple days ago, back when the first came out, about how a lot of, or before it came out even, it was some IMDb critic pre-reviews when they got a screener, and a lot of it was mixed. Some of it was saying it's either great or it's horrible. It was really polarizing. And someone on Twitter
Oh my
like,
god! Yeah, I just
tweeted
realized what you're
that.
talking about.
Quote tweeted that, and then said, "Sucks that they only got old white men to review this movie." Like, really? I mean, I get
that was
where
on.
you're coming from.
That was the
But-
the DB reviews, like pre-screening reviews.
Right, they got critic reviews. It was either that or Rotten Tomatoes.
Because
the critics
It
got
was
got a pre-review
Well,
of it.
because
and then
there was
people commented on that.
There was a thing. Rotten Tomatoes did a. It wasn't reviews. They did a poll of asking people if they wanted to see it and they didn't want to see it, and people took that as reviews for some reason, which they weren't. And people just flipped the script and made it seem like everyone just was hating on the film and review bombing it for no reason.
It might be that, but I think it might have been actual critiques of the movie, like posts coming out. But it was definitely something where it was mainly people saying it was either good or bad.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
They were saying it after watching it, so it wasn't like if you
Right.
were going to see it.
Okay.
So
And
I
it
know
wasn't
that.
even like
But-
a
so
full-on-
it might be something different from you.
It wasn't a full-on evidence-based thing. It was just like It was a disappointing introduction to Carol Danvers.
Right.
That was it.
Right, it wasn't anything like that. It was just saying, I wasn't hot on the movie, and that's that's what a critic does. They're there to say, if you're supposed to go ahead and look at a critic, if you look at a critic's work, you obviously take their point of view into consideration when watching something.
Right.
So
Their
I have
opinion,
a few, I have a few people whose opinion I see and I take into opinion or take into consideration when going to go see a movie. So when I see someone say, "Oh, this movie sucked," I usually try and surround myself with people who have the same sensibilities in movies of me.
Right.
So when they say it sucks, I'll sit there and say, oh, it may be different, but compared to I might love it, but usually I can sit there and confidently say that movie probably does suck, and I probably won't like it because they didn't like it either. And sometimes it's different, sometimes it's not. But so for her just to immediately say, like, she may have seen some of these, she may follow some of these reviewers, but it was just the kind of thing where it was like, it's just like indicative of the headline society that we have.
Well, because I put the actual quote from what Brie Larson said in the Discord. The actual quote about
wait a minute,
where people,
that's from her.
That is the actual quote. The misquote. There's a misquote because people started misquoting it and saying that she said that she doesn't want white men to see it, which was not true. But what I put in the Discord, that's the actual.
Doesn't need to.
That's verbatim. That's what she said.
Right. So for people at home who can't see her Discord, obviously, I'll just read out her quote. It's, quote, "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant for women of color, biracial women, and teen women of color." End quote.
See, and that's where people started having a problem because it was not people like be like, oh, a woman's in a movie, blah, like not liking it for that reason. It was like, it seemed like they were putting a agenda, like a political agenda, over the movie. If you get what I'm saying, and that's where people started getting kind of mad about the movie,
it's
and at her.
Right. Well, yeah. That to me, that's a little. Like, obviously, yeah, that's her opinion, and I get that's her opinion. She can have that opinion.
Right.
But it's a little, like, oh, well, that seems kind of, not, I wouldn't say poor taste, but it's like, I get what you're saying, but also it sounds bad. It's like, I don't need this 40-year-old white dude. It's almost, and it's this kind of, like, attacking a 40-year-old white dude for wanting to see your movie. Or who...
For criticizing the movie.
Right, for criticizing the movie for being a critic, which would be that 40-year-old white dude's job.
Right, and
to deny his opinion and his voice is that's directly against his rights. I mean, you could deny. What I mean is, like, you can ignore someone for what they're saying, but to deny him of him saying anything at all, to ignore that point of view is a little bit
right.
I don't know the word. Not
it's ignorant,
but it's ignorant. Yeah, it's
ignorant.
A little bit like I would take if like I will take everyone's opinion about, like, for say this podcast. I'm not gonna go and talk to. I want to only talk to Joe Rogan. I want his opinion on this podcast. No, I will probably never even speak to Joe Rogan. But I mean, obviously, it'd be great to have his opinion. But I also want someone who's never even listened to a podcast to listen to the podcast and tell me their opinion. Because
it's that she's
still something.
She's dismissing his criticism, his opinion, because because he's a white male. Is
right.
That's
it's
and that is ignorant. That's just not you. Why would you do that?
I don't want to go as far to say it's racism. But it's like if it's the kind of thing where that happens and no one blinks an eye, and then someone says that, oh, I don't need a 16-year-old black girl to tell me anything. I want to know what
if you flip it, it's instantly racism. Because if she was to say, I don't want a 40-year-old black dude to see my movie, then she'd get so much shit. But since she made it 40-year-old white dude, she's women power. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's also, I don't want to say it's nothing. I don't want to say it's nitpicky, but it's something there, is that she goes 40-year-old white dude as a derogatory, like, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude, but then says, I want women of color, biracial women, and teen women of color, but uses 40-year-old white dude. Like, she could have said a 40-year-old Caucasian male.
She could have just said dude.
It's phrasing.
I don't
need a 40-year-old dude.
I don't know.
Right. I don't need I don't need that is like a little there's there's always a little something there is when someone comes out like that. Like if I said I don't need a black person's opinion on something, it's like, why add the race? Why do you have to add the race?
Right.
What's the point of adding that race? You don't need to. So
But
that for me is a little I always just try to back off from the race side because there's no, I mean really human. I mean it's not hard to just say a human person. It's not hard to just say I want a human opinion. I don't need a dog's opinion. They can't give me an opinion.
Right.
If my dog looks at the screen and wags his tail, there's his opinion. But
so what's the next topic that we got?
Do we want to do another one? It's about an hour and 10 in.
Yeah.
We can go to hour 30 if you really want to.
Why not? Let's just
We can go
keep
longer.
going. Let's keep going.
All right. So my final topic for me is I watched this movie yesterday called The Final Girl or Final Girls. It's one of those.
Oh, we're really gonna keep going.
The Final
If you wanna,
Girls.
we can stop.
No,
We can stop.
it's not that. It's not that.
No, it's not.
I think we need
it's
to
called
clarify.
The Final Girls.
I think we need to clarify something. That we are
Okay.
not deliberately trying to speak ill or bash women. This is not what we are trying to do at all. We are just
No,
merely
of course
giving
not.
our opinion.
Speak for yourself.
Hunter,
No.
no.
No,
We're
I
really-
never bad
we're
mouth
just
anybody.
giving
I
our
only speak
opinion.
my opinion.
We're giving our opinion. You can take
Take
it
it or
as you
leave it.
may. But we're saying right now that we are not trying to bash
We are
anybody.
not bashing women. We are not belittling women in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
We are
Not at
just talking about the movie and the political
Agenda that it has.
agenda around it that it ultimately has. You can't deny that.
Right. The way I see it is that Brie Larson gives her opinion. I can give mine.
That's fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
She gives her opinion on the situation. I can respond to that with my opinion. She can apparently doesn't need a 40-year-old white man's opinion. Good thing I'm only 18, so she can take my opinion. All right.
Okay,
All right.
let's
Next subject.
move on now.
Next subject. The Final Girl. This movie is great. First off, I will legitimately probably give it a 9 out of 10 on my scale. And if Rico knows me probably better than most people I know, period. So Rico
Yeah, I
can
talked to you
vouch for
too
me.
much.
Is
little too
this
much.
movie
We should
on
really
Netflix?
stop.
Yeah, let's just stop talking.
It's not.
Okay.
I saw it legally. Don't worry about that. Totally legally. So this movie came out in 2015.
Oh.
It has a
older.
73% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I would honestly bump that up. It is, and I'll give you the synopsis real quick right now. Max, recently orphaned, goes to a screening of a B horror movie that her mother made 20 years earlier. When Max and her friends find themselves in the world of the film itself, they must apply their knowledge of horror tropes to survive. So it's literally a situation where
They see it, they live it.
not even live it. They go it's legit.
Is this like
there's
a
movie?
is this like a parody, like a spoof? Like
Little bit. It's spoofy slightly because it's self-aware horror tropes. It's
Right,
literally
okay.
it's called The Final Girls, and the whole movie is called like Camp Bloodlust or something like that.
Okay.
That's like the fake movie, and it's a dude with a mask with a machete, so it's parodying like Jason movies basically. So they go to this, and the movie is like they go to this camp, and every single girl that has sex dies. And because that's the trope
okay.
of all those old
I gotta
horror
see
movies
this
is
movie.
that
I gotta
the-
see this
it's just
movie.
the girls, right?
It's if you like old slasher movies, it's a must, because you'll get you'll get more out of it if you love those Jason, those Freddy Kruegers.
Yeah,
you'll get more
I'm a
out
huge
of that.
slasher
Because-
fan, so
Hold on.
Exactly.
Hold on,
So
hold
you need to
on.
watch it.
Hold on
What?
a minute. It's just the girls that die?
No. It's called The Final Girls because in all those movies, the girl it's always a virgin girl that kills the
No,
main.
it's not what I meant. I meant. You said if the girl has sex, she dies.
All right. So if there's any nudity, if that person gets nude, they die, because that's how in horror movies work. The people have sex at the camp. Why are you adding this? What I'm saying, everyone who gets nude dies.
Okay.
Because in those old horror movies, it's the trope: the guy and the girl get in the cabin.
You go
in the
to watch.
sleepover.
Go back and watch any Jason movie. That's how it always goes.
They start to have the fuck time, and then they get killed by him. So they find. So what happens is that there's a fire in the theater they're watching this in. So they have to tear a hole through the screen and enter it, and then it goes all white, and they wake up in the movie.
All right,
it's literally they wake up in the movie, and like so they're sitting there at the beginning, and then they like look down the road, and like the first scene in the movie is a van going down the road with the camp counselors in it, saying like, "You're driving to the camp." That's the first scene. So they see the Volkswagen pop up, and the girl rolls down her window, and she's like, "Do you guys know the way to camp?" Ah ha ha ha! And you hear like the '80s music playing, and the characters are this. It's like Max, who is the main character, who's basically like the final girl. She's the lead. Every lead character in one of those horror movies is always the person who lives.
Yeah.
So then there's her friend, and then the guy that Max likes and his ex-girlfriend. They all go into this movie, and then there's all the characters in the movie that are real people in the real world, but they also are they're their characters. So one of the characters was Max's mom, like 20 years younger, but she's the character in the movie. But she looks identical to the mom, and but in the real world she died. So Max enters the movie and then sees her dead mom basically, and is like having this whole this whole thing. Anyway, the whole point of the movie is like it's like if you like everyone always says like, oh, the girl goes to open the closet and some guy in the theater is like, oh, don't do that, don't open the closet, it's gonna be in the closet. That's the whole point of that's like that. These people have a third person perspective on the movie they're in, so they can make the decisions and they can make the certain situation. So they realize, oh, if someone gets naked at all right now, he'll show up. Because that's how the movie works.
I gotta see this.
So they have to. That's how it is. They must apply their knowledge of horror tropes to survive, and it's so funny because there's a scene where they're all like behind a log. I'll give you this one. This is like the first thing in the movie that like is just fantastic. Also, one thing I have to add before this. This Rico, I would recommend you to watch this too, even if anybody else, if you're not even that big of a horror film fan, because the shots, the camera work in this movie is the best I've ever seen.
Ooh.
It's all like it's like 3D camera almost, because it's in like an animated movie. You know how the camera can like go fly across the room,
right,
and like zoom in on a dude's face, and it's all fluid. It's like that, but it's all that one scene. So like there's a scene where a dude gets stabbed through the chest, and you see behind him, and then he falls down on the ground, but he's out of shot. So the camera and like it's pointed at his back, so he falls backwards. So his head's pointed at the camera, but he's out of the frame. So then the camera flies up above him and spins around to see his face, and then that's when you see him die. It's like, and it's all one shot. Like there's a whole scene at the end of the movie where it's all one shot, and it's insane. It's such a good movie, and I've never heard of it before. But anyway,
now that he's screaming,
I'm probably I'm gonna get a list next podcast of all the movies I've seen that no one's ever heard of, and I give like a 10. But they like. So they're behind this log, and there's the scene in the movie where there's this flower girl, like, hippie girl, who sees a hitchhiker in the woods, and then they fuck and die. Because the main villain, his name is Billy, and Billy kills him, because they fuck. Mm-hmm. So they're having the sexy time, and then Billy comes up and kills the guy and kills the girl, and they're watching it, and they're like, oh my god, this is, like, so real, oh my god. And, like, one of the characters also, Max's friend, her stepbrother is in there, and he's like a massive fan of this movie, so he knows every scene, knows every line. He's kind of like their guide to the movie. He gives them all the tropes to like base the rules off of. So he in the scene
he gets
is like
naked with somebody and dies.
No, he doesn't. But
really
there
sad.
is But after this, because they scream when one of the girls screams or something, and then Billy sees them behind the log, and the guy that Max likes is like, run! And they start running, and then the brother guy is like, no, wait. And then Billy's just standing there staring at him. He's like, we're not part of the movie, so he doesn't know what to do with us. So he doesn't know what we're doing and how to do it. And and he's like, he doesn't know what to do with us. He doesn't know to kill us. And then Billy like gets real close to him because the brother tries taking a selfie. And he gets real close. Billy gets right up next to him, like, and he's like 7 feet tall. And the brother's like, "Oh boy, you're real big," and like he's real scared. And then Billy just turns away and walks away. And the brother turns back to him and goes, "Oh boy, that was scary." And then a machete just goes right in his side, and he's like, "Ah!" Like, and everyone runs away, and he falls over. And it's like perfect horror movie. Like, it's perfect. Okay, that's all I want to say. We can end the podcast now. Go watch this movie. That's Hunter's recommendation of the week. Go watch The Final Girls in 2015. 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. I give it probably like a 9.5 out of 10. It is such a good movie. It made me laugh the whole time. I would give it a 9.5. It is such a good movie. Such good camera work. Such good writing. I love it. I would see people who don't have that love of horror movies and 80s slasher flicks giving it maybe a lower rating. But for me, personally, 9 out of 5. Go watch this fucking movie. Okay, we're done.